Hey everybody, welcome back to our Redmond 89's Let's Play of Adam, Ancient Domains of Mystery. So when we last left off, I mentioned that we were going straight to the Puppy Cave, and straight to the Puppy Cave we are going. So if you don't remember, the goal of going down through the Puppy Cave is to find the little girl's puppy. We promised her we would, somehow this puppy dove down like 5 or 6 freaking levels of this cave, and so normally what we would do if we wanted to the benefits of this quest are not really that great, so it's not something that we really prioritize here, but it is something to do during the early game. One of the biggest benefits of accepting this quest is that it generates this dungeon, and generating a dungeon generates dungeon features, just like the one we just saw there. That was a pool. Pools give you various effects when you drink out of them. The effects can be positive or negative. Right now we're not strong enough, and we don't have the ability to remove some of the negative effects, so we're just going to skip it because the negative effects can be devastating. They could be run-ending. But this cave does generate dungeon features, so it is beneficial to go through it, as well as the small piety boost, which is our alignment. Excuse me, not piety, but our alignment boost. It is a lawful act to complete this quest. And if you remember last time, we got our Amulet of Order, which we are attempting to get our alignment towards lawful. Right now we are neutral plus. I like to be lawful because I believe it is easier. It is easiest to be lawful, especially when it comes to sacrificing creatures, which we'll see here. Not this episode, but in a little bit. This is the penultimate level of this dungeon. This dungeon always generates in this weird sort of manner here. That's called a cavernous level. Not a lot of hallways, which it's possible to easily get surrounded. This is the final level of this cave after we dove down as quick as possible. And this level always generates with a vault. Vaults are dungeon features that have a fixed layout and a fixed layout out of a couple different possibilities, and generate either creatures of one type or mixed creatures with kind of increased difficulty. So in smaller vaults, you can find some pretty good treasure. In larger vaults, which this is not, larger vaults generate much later in the game, can generate artifacts, or a couple of artifacts. So they're always useful to clear out, but they're pretty tough. So hopefully we'll get a nice easy vault for this level. Now, I'm looking for the puppy in this level, so this is Puppy Cave 6, so he dove down 6 levels. If you want to generate the puppy alive, you have to reach Puppy Cave 6 in less than 4 days game time. For some reason I didn't check that corpse. That corpse does end up being the puppy, the cute dog. There's no reason why I didn't check what that corpse was, but so I'll spend some time here looking for the dog when it was right there. If you reach this level of this dungeon within 4 days game time, the puppy will generate as alive. If you get there later than that, the puppy will generate dead. The puppy's corpse never rots, but I don't recommend eating it because it is very frowned upon. You will automatically become cursed and doomed, which are two intrinsic status effects, which skew dice rolls away from your favor. So say if you were to get lucky and I would get hit really bad, and I would live with 1 HP, which we saw last time. Instead, that probably would not happen. I would be much more likely to get critically hit, just stuff like that. Bad rolls on traps, stuff like that. So you don't want to be cursed, you don't want to be doomed, so you don't want to eat that corpse. Here we are in the vault, though. I mentioned that vaults either generate as one type of monster or mixed vaults, which generate creatures that are slightly harder than you would normally expect to face for this area. So we got kind of unlucky with that. Now, I'm being extra cautious around this ghost because ghosts have aging attacks, so I'm not too worried about him hitting me because of HP, but if he hits me, he's going to age me, and as a human, I don't live very long. There are obviously fantasy creatures, that some live quite a bit longer than others. Elves live thousands of years, dwarves live hundreds of years. Humans have a lifespan comparable to us in real life, and so I don't want to get aged too much. Right there, I was just recovering some of my mana, and people kept opening the door on me, so I had to keep blasting them. So I'm going to try to go back into this vault here to see if there's any... one, I'm looking for the cute dog corpse, which is already generated over there, as I mentioned earlier, but I'm also looking for treasure. We can see there's quite a bit of items on the ground here. Here's a fire vortex. Fire vortex are not fun. If he stands right next to me, he'll explode in a massive fire, but luckily it wasn't an acid vortex. Like this acid vortex right here. Yeah, I'm getting really unlucky. My bolts keep missing him. This is an extremely deadly situation here. Luckily, I am able to kill him before he explodes on me. If that creature was able to stand next to me, I likely would have died. They kamikaze attack you, so it's not a very pleasant monster fight. So I'm coming towards the end of this vault here. It's a spiral vault. So here's a Margoyle. It's a lesser form of a gargoyle. Which, if you guys have ever heard of a Margoyle, let me know. Finally here, I'm going to come up across this cat. I didn't mention this earlier, but I did run away from a cat earlier. There's a very specific reason why you don't want to fight cats. And here I'm checking my wands to see if there's anything that can help me. There's a creature, much later in the game, who loves cats, and if you never kill a cat, he will reward you with a really nice ring. If you do kill cats, he will reward you with pain and suffering. He's not a nice guy, and I've lost a few runs trying to fight him because sometimes killing cats is unavoidable. It's either you or them sometimes, so... But you gotta go. We're gonna go through the rest of the game doing our best, trying to avoid cats. I actually don't remember whether or not I kill one, but I think I do. Being a caster, I'm saying you have to be careful, but at the same time you can't really be careful because if you see there, my bolt spell, I think that was a magic missile. My magic missile actually went farther than I can see. So if there's a cat on there's one outside of my range of vision, and I cast magic missile and I kill the cat without being able to see it, I'll have never known unless it leaves the corpse, and I'll just walk into the Cat Lord thinking that's the name of the guy who likes cats, the Cat Lord. I'll walk up to him thinking that I did pretty good all game, and then he'll probably kill me. So here I finally decided to check the cute dog corpse. So there it is. We've picked up the little girl's poor defenseless little dog. So now it's our goal to get back to her. We have all the time in the world. Like I said, the cute dog corpse does not ever rot. So it's not like the last time when we had to when we had to rush up to get the corpse up topside. So here's another here's another cat that I have to try to avoid. I tried to give him a rat, but he didn't want it. Luckily, I'm able to navigate around him through that door. But let's say in this tiny corridor, there was another cat that happened to spawn on the other side of me. I have no way of teleporting. I have no way of making them friendly. The only thing I can do is kill one. It's either that or end the run, and I'd rather get to the cat lord and hope I can kill him than just quit here. So there's, yeah, my only option would have been to fight there. Traveling back down through this cavernous level here. Another ghost here that I would much rather stay far away from me as possible. Ghosts are also dangerous because they can walk through walls, so you could easily be surrounded. You can't cordon them off in hallways like you normally can. There's the cat I ran away from earlier that I didn't mention. But here we're in a pretty tricky situation. That dark elven priestess just summoned a bunch of spiders. Spiders are not good. If they bite you, they will poison you. And I'm surrounded here. I was just barely able to escape. Due to my increased speed, I feel comfortable enough running away instead of fighting or trying to heal or anything like that. And then once I get to the floor above me, like I said last episode, if any enemies are near you when you change levels, then they will follow you. You might notice that I ate that cave fisher corpse there. That it caused me to vomit, so it tasted bad. I threw up, and it decreased my hunger. So you're probably asking, well, why did you actually eat it then? But because I was able to get poison resistance from eating it, and so that's one good thing about certain corpses give you certain resistances. I'm making my way back up here. Here's Puppy Cave 3 again, and here's a boss monster. Boss monsters are regular monsters who are slightly tougher, have a name, and have a description like this that you can read every time you encounter one, or they have a star above their head. That's how you know they're a monster. So this guy's I think he's a rattling thief. He's a named rattling thief. His name is Scratch, I think is what it was. But you'll see he's not much harder than regular rattling thieves, but he does drop 830 gold pieces, so that's pretty nice. And then I'll keep heading up. One more thing I wanted to show you before I completely leave. We have two types of room here. This is a tension room. You'll know there's a tension room on your floor when you sense a certain tension down in the bottom left-hand corner. It's the one of the messages. As soon as I entered that room, you'll notice that some of the walls crumbled away. If you're not quick, you can get surrounded, and so tension rooms can be very dangerous. Luckily, this one was just filled with kobolds, but you'll notice that it was filled completely to the brim with kobolds. And so, there are threat rooms or tension rooms, with ice giants and stuff like that. They're not very pleasant to deal with. There's one more type of room that is similar to the tension room, which is the threat room, which I accidentally just mentioned here, which we'll see here in a second, actually. I believe Puppy Cave 1 here, I actually come across another room similar to the threat room, to the tension room, which is the threat room. So as soon as I kick open this door, this is a threat room. It's a room completely filled with monsters. This one is mixed, so it's similar to the tension room. The threat room is filled with monsters, but the walls don't crumble. A lot of these monsters can also generate out of depth, similar to the mixed vault that we encountered earlier. So that's a water snake that's slightly out of depth. Trying to see if there's any more that are out of depth here. I'm not really seeing any. But yeah. So as soon as I clear out these rooms are good because they can generate a lot of treasure. But they're also can be dangerous because you can get some pretty nasty monsters here. But as a caster, I'm pretty lucky. My bolt spells are pretty good, so I'm lucky enough to be able to dispatch them fairly quickly. So I'm just checking for any cool treasure here. Scrolls, some gold, a lot of corpses. And I actually found a spell book. So I'll check that spell book here shortly. But that's good because I can't rely on just the Acid Bolt and Magic Missile all game. So I'm really happy to have found that spell book. Now I'm almost back to the surface. So my goal here now is to go back to the village and deliver the bad news to the little girl. So what I'll do is I'll find the little girl. If I remember correctly, she's on the left-hand side of this village. There she is. So I'll give her dog, and that completes my quest. She's gonna cry. But you can talk to her and spend some time with her, and that gives you another small little lawful boost. Not as much as if you had delivered her dog alive, but it's something. So now I'm just gonna spend some time talking to these guys for some reason. I don't really know why. They don't have anything useful to say to me, especially this guy, but I'm going to talk to him anyway. He's going to call his wife a hag. That's not very cool. But I'll read my spellbooks here. I found 2 spellbooks while I was down in the puppy cave. One of them was Disarm Trap, which is a very, very useful utility spell. And the other one is Firebolt, which is another great offensive spell. So now I have Acid Bolt, Frostbolt, Firebolt, and Magic Missile. I think that's all of the good offensive, all of the basic offensive magics, I think. Lightning Bolt. I'm missing Lightning Bolt still. But yeah. So I'm gonna now. I said previously that I wasn't sure if I was gonna head back to the Small Mountain Cave. I do end up heading back to the Small Mountain Cave, so that's where I'm heading now. I will not be looking for the blanket. It's too dangerous. I'm going to head straight to the downstairs and dive down as deep as I can. I was hoping to get some food there because I'm hungry, but I'll just eat my food here. That was a wilderness encounter. I think that might be the first wilderness encounter we've seen all play through. So I'm being sure to keep Strength of Atlas on here. I actually don't need it right now because I'm not burdened or encumbered. So, it's just a safe thing to have. So again, here's Small Mountain Cave. If you don't remember, this place is dangerous because all of the monsters that generate here are double our level. So when I last left this cave, I was level 6, which means all of the monsters that generated here are level 12. Currently I'm level 11. Every time I kill a monster, it's possible for other monsters to spawn. So, and they're going to generate at double my level, so level 22. Making my way through Small Mountain Cave here, trying to get there as fast as possible. That way I don't generate any extra baddies. But like I said before with the cats, sometimes you have no choice but to kill them. So I'm finally level 12 here. My spell costs are reduced by a further 10%, so 20% in total, I think. I don't believe those stack, so I think it's just 10 and then 20. So my spells cost less power points to cast, which is really nice. But not so nice because I'm going to end up having more power points than I know what to do with. I already have 119, which is quite a bit. But you know what? It's fine. I in the late game, I do end up running out of mana, so it's fine. So I'm not going to worry about killing these guys. They will follow me, so I'll just kill them up here. Off screen, I accidentally I wish I didn't kill him off screen, but that was a Karmic Lizard. You saw him changing colors. I mentioned earlier the intrinsic passive statuses of Doomed and Cursed. If you hit those guys, if you hit Karmic beings in melee attacks, you will drop. You will become Karsten Dune, so it's important not to hit those guys in melee. So here's one of the reasons why I wanted to come to this dungeon, was because of stuff like this. Like I said, it's important to generate as many dungeons as you can because they have dungeon features. Here's a dungeon feature, which is a shop, and it is a potion shop. So shops in this game are kind of weird. So we've been to 2 shops already. We went to the food shop in Terranio and the mix shop in Lowen Lothel. Merchants will only buy things that they sell. So this guy will only buy potions. The shop in Terranio only buys food. Mixed shops will buy anything. I buy here all the potions of water that I can, because potions of water are extremely useful for blessing stuff. As soon as I am getting good graces with my god again, I will be able to bless the water, and then when I bless the water, I can use that to bless other items. And blessed items have different better effects, especially scrolls and potions. Their effects are better when they are blessed. So here I find another tome. It is Improved Fireball. That's an amazing spell. Improved Fireball. I don't have Fireball yet, but Fireball would completely envelop and surround my character with fire. With Improved Fireball, I instead can designate an area, and that area will become enveloped in Fireball. But I do need line of sight on that area, and nothing can obstruct my path, or else the Fireball will hit that instead. So that's right here is an Ice Vortex, which is a perfect opportunity for me to test out Improved Fireball. Ball spells actually can't be shrugged off, so as long as they don't resist, which an Ice Vortex will not resist my Firebolt, it will always hit. And so in order to maintain maximum safety, I've decided to use my Improved Firebolt there to ensure that the Ice Vortex is killed. This is the Unreal Dungeon. I might have mentioned that before. This is underneath Small Mountain Cave, and at the end of this dungeon is another town at the very south of the overworld map. It takes, I believe, 7 levels to get there. So I'm on UD1. I think on UD7 is where there'll be an extra, instead of another downstairs, there'll be an upstairs, and that'll lead me to the town at the end of this dungeon, which is High Mountain Village. So some people like to do this dungeon straight away, because there's a lot of good stuff in High Mountain Village. There's quests that are important for certain things, but I decided, and it's dangerous to go past a Small Mountain Cave once you're higher level. But I decided that I would come here later instead. So here I'm completely reading my Improved Fireball. Let's see how many casts I get out of it. 413, not bad. So that's quite a bit of Improved Fireball. It is an expensive spell to cast, power points wise. So it is something that I will probably save, but it's nice to have in a pinch. And I'm just going to keep making my way through here. I'm hoping I get some good gear here. I got Braces of Lifting, which I think increases my ability to increases the amount that I can carry. Here's another random dungeon feature. It's a statue. Statues can be interacted with in different ways. If you don't want to, if you can look up which statues do what on online actually, but I must have decided that it wasn't a good idea to interact with that statue. So there I was bleeding, so now I get to apply first aid, and applying first aid stops the bleeding and heals me for a little bit of the damage that I just received. And actually here, this is so crazy, this is another potion on 2 shops in a row, both of them potion shops. Shops are so rare, and I just happen to get 2 potion shops right back to back. But I'm gonna buy all the water again because, like I said, water is really useful. It's fairly cheap too. I'm also going to buy. I think I buy. Some of this is way too expensive for me to buy. But it is nice to just walk over everything and see what it is. So I'm just double checking to make sure that I've stepped over every single potion here, just so I know what it is. This potion of uselessness, I'll pick up this potion of uselessness. A potion of uselessness typically does nothing, but it's like water, but worse because you can't even bless it. But it does have one specific use, which I get to show off much later in the game. So I think yeah, I pick up some carrot juices here too. That'll increase my perception. Carrot juice makes your eyes better, which perception is good because the higher your perception, the further distance you can see. So I'm just paying for these potions now. So I'm down to only about 8,000 gold, so that's not too bad. But yeah, and so I'm almost done here. I think I'm gonna end this episode here pretty soon. But I'm just looking at my potions to see what all that I've already acquired that I learned from this episode right here, that I learned from stepping over those potions right there. And now I'm actually going to attempt to do something a little crazy here. So I noticed that I have some potions that aren't stacking with my other potions. That means it's most likely that these potions have generated as uncursed. So there's 3 cursed statuses. There's cursed, which is bad, uncursed, which is normal, and blessed. And so I'm hoping that some of this water generated blessed. And I'm hoping that the scroll that I dip, which is unidentified, is a scroll of identify. Scrolls of identify is one of the more common scrolls, and so I dipped my most abundant scroll into water that I hoped was blessed, to hope that I made it into a blessed scroll of identify. That way, that I could know everything, all of my equipment. However, I don't know if it was blessed holy water, but it was not a scroll of identify. It was a scroll of gold detection, and there was no gold on the floor. Here I found an elven chainmail. Elven chainmail is so good. It gives you +5 protection, and it weighs next to nothing. One of the best early game armors that you can possibly get. So happy to see that just generated on the ground right there. That is insane. Alright guys, so I think that's just about going to wrap up this episode. I'm going to walk through this darkness here, and I'm about to find the stairway down. In the next episode, we are going to continue to dive down the Unreal Dungeon, and we're going to make our way towards High Mountain Village. And we'll see what crazy stuff is in High Mountain Village. Here's another pool. Again, I'm not strong enough to use it, so... Alright guys, see you later.